Okay, so let's get started with SAT Math Skill number 10, which is related with the slope, right? So any question which deals with the slope, if you will master this skill, then you will not face any problem in those questions. So what it says that the slope of a line measures its steepness, right? The steeper the line, the bigger the slope. So for example, you're having one mountain here and there's another mountain here, and you have to move from left to right to the top of the mountain, and then in the second instance you have to move to this mountain to the top. So obviously it will be very difficult for you to travel mountain number 1 as compared to mountain number 2, because the mountain number 1 is more steeper. So that means the line which is here is having more slope. So the more steeper the line, the more slope it is having. The less steeper the line, the less slope it is having. So first thing, when you move from left to right, if you are facing difficulty in moving to the mountain, right, that means it is having more slope, it is more steeper. And if your difficulty level decreases, then the slope decreases, right? In the same way, difficulty level becomes 0, because when you'll be having a straight path, we'll be having a playground or something to move on, there'll be no slope here. So when you move on that plain path, plain ground, there's no slope, so we can say the slope is 0. But when you move from left to right to the mountain, you're having a slope, right? You're having a slope. And the more the steepness, the more the slope. The less the steepness, the less the slope. But when you move from left to right and you go up, when you move from left to right and you go up, then the slope is positive. And when you move from left to right and you go down, for example, you have reached on the top of the mountain and you want to go down, right? You're going down from left to right. So left to right, when you move, you're going down. That means your slope will be now negative. It will not be positive. So those lines which are like this, going down from left to right, right? Going down from left to right, they are all having negative slopes. And those lines which are going up from left to right, like this, like this, like this, or this line which is here, they are all having positive slopes. And the straight line, horizontal line, is having a 0 slope. And that mountain which is exactly perpendicular, which is like this, which is perpendicular to the x-axis, you can't move to that point, right? You can't move to that mountain. That means it's having an infinite slope, right? You can't do anything, you can't help, you can't go up, because it's impossible to go up to that mountain, because which is perpendicular to x-axis. So it's having infinite slope. Horizontal line is having a 0 slope, and a vertical line is having an infinite slope. And when you move from left to right, you go up, you're having a positive slope. And when you move from left to right, you go down, then you're having a negative slope. And the formula for the slope will be simply change in the y coordinate, change in the rise divided by change in the run. So we can say simply rise over run, which you have already done, right? So slope will be equal to rise over run. The more rise you do for every run, that means the more sloper you will be having, the more slopey the mountain is. And rise is actually the y coordinate, the y axis in the xy Cartesian system. So that means we'll have the rise as change in the y coordinate. So we'll have rise as change in the y coordinates, y1 minus y2. And we'll have the run as change in the x coordinate, x1 minus x2. So we can say that the slope is y1 minus y2 divided by x1 minus x2. So by this we'll be able to analyze which line will be having the more steepness, and the sign we can just do by visual analyzing of the line. We can say that what will be the sign of this, whether it will be positive or it will be negative. Now let us see the questions to get a more clearer picture of this. If the slope of the line through the points 3a and -2, -4 is 3/5, what is the value of a? So we know that slope is equal to y1 minus y2 divided by x1 minus x2. We're already given that slope is 3 over 5. So rise is 3 for every run 5. So 3 over 5 is y1 minus y2. So we can mark here x1, y1, x2, y2. You can do the, you can say x1, y1 as -2, -4 also. No problem in that. So you're having 3 over 5 equals y1 minus y2, that is -4, no, a minus -4 divided by x1 minus x2, that's 3 minus -2. That'll be a plus 4 divided by 5. So we can say 3/5 equals a plus 4 divided by 5. Now what you can do here is you're having 5 and 5 on the left side and the right, and on the right side you can multiply 5 to both sides. So when you multiply 5 to both sides, 5 and 5 will cancel out, right? So 3 will be equal to a plus 4, and then you can subtract 4 to both sides. You can get 3 minus 4 equals a, or a equals -1. So a equals -1. That is the value of a. Now let us see question number 2. What is the slope of the line through the point 2, -3 and the origin? So it makes the things easier when you're having origin. Origin means 0, 0, right? So you're getting one point as 0, 0, and the other point is 2, -3. So 2, 1, 2, and -3, not up but down 3 units, 1, 2, 3. So it'll be like here. So the line will be like here, like this, and we need only 2 points on that line by which we can calculate the slope. So we can say this will be x1 y1 and this will be x2 y2, and the x2 y2 is 2, -3. So we'll be having slope as y1 minus y2, y1 is 0, minus y2, y2 is -3, divided by x1 minus x2 is 0 minus 2. So slope is equal to 0 minus -3, that'll be 3, divided by -2, or -3 by 2, or -1.5. You can take the negative in the numerator or in the denominator, or you can put it at the front, -3 over 2, that's -1.5. So that is option B. And we were able to see it visually, that line is going down from left to right. Left to right, you are going down the mountain, so that means slope will be negative. And by only doing this without calculating, you can eliminate option D and option E because they are positive. Now let us see question number 3. Which of the following is closest to the slope of the line in the figure below? So well, it is a positive slope, so that means we can eliminate only option A. And we can see rise over run, and we have to get only 2 points. So the best 2 points will be the intercepts of y-axis and x-axis. So y-axis intercept will be here, so we can have the x coordinate of this point is 0 because it's not, neither it's on the right side of origin nor on the left side of origin, it's down, right? That means it's only changing y coordinate, not x coordinate. So x coordinate will be 0 and y coordinate will be -1, -2, -3, -4. So it'll be 0 and -4. And the second point, which is the intercept of the x-axis, we can say that we can move from origin, we can see how much point it is far from the origin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 8 units to the right, but it's not up, neither it's down, so its y coordinate will be 0. So we are getting x1, y1, x2, y2. Now we can calculate the slope. Slope is equal to y1 minus y2, that's -4 minus 0, divided by x1 minus x2, that's 0 minus 8. So that's -4 divided by -8, that is 4 over 8, that is 1 over 2, because negative and negative will cancel out. So 1 over 2, that is option C. Now let's move to question number 4. In the figure below, the line containing AB passes through the origin. What's the value of B divided by A? So we have to see what are the coordinates of this point AB, which is what are the coordinates of this point? Let us mark it as M, which is having which is on the line which passes through the origin 0 0. We don't need actually the slope here. We can just simply calculate the x coordinate and y coordinate by simply seeing the graph. So we can just mark, we can go from the origin and to the right, x to the right, 1 2 3 and 4 units to the right, and 1 2 3 and 4 units to the top. So 4 units x-axis and 4 units y-axis. So the coordinate, the point M is having the coordinates 4 comma 4. That means the point M is having the coordinates, AB as 4 comma 4, which means A is 4 and B is 4 when you'll compare them. And we have to calculate B divided by A. So B divided by A will be 4 divided by 4, that is 1. So option C is the right answer. Now let us see question number 5, which is the hard question of the SAT, but we'll make it easy. So in the XY coordinate plane below, the indicated diameters of the two circles shown are parallel to the y-axis. Okay. So if they are parallel, that means this whole line, just check it out. This whole line here, this whole diameter here, is not having any change in the x coordinate. It will be 2 at the bottom, it will be 2 at the top. So the lines which are the diameter of these circles are having only y coordinates changing, right, from -1 to 3 and 0 to 6, because the circumference lies on the x-axis of the bigger circle. So we have to calculate the coordinates of the centers of the points, because the question is telling you the indicated diameters of the two circles shown are parallel to the y-axis. Okay, that means they are not changing the x coordinates, they are only changing the y coordinates. If the points M and N are centers of the circles, what is the slope of line MN? So we have to make a line MN, and we have to calculate the slope of this line MN, and obviously it is positive, and there are all the options which are positive here because it is considered as a hard level. So now what we can do is we have to just calculate the coordinates of point M. Well, I told you the whole line is having the same x coordinate, so point M will also be having the same x coordinate, that's 2, and the y coordinate will be the center point of 3 -1. 3 minus -1 divided by 2. So that will be the exact point of this center, y coordinate of the center. So it will be 3, because the distance between them will be the distance between them will. So the line which is the diameter of the smaller circle will be having the x coordinate as 2, and the y coordinate will be exactly in between 3 and -1, right? It'll be in between 3 and -1. So in order to calculate the coordinate of this point, we know that it is equidistant. From M to 3, you'll be having same distance from M to -1. Now let us calculate the coordinates of point M. So the coordinates of the point M will be it'll be x coordinate will be 2. In the same way, the coordinates of point N, it'll be M here, it'll be N here. For x coordinates of the point N, it'll be 7, because the x coordinate will not change for the whole line, but the y coordinate is changing. From -1 to 3, you're having a distance of 4 units, right? Because 3 minus -1 will be equal to 4, and M lies in between, exactly in between 3 and -1. So it will be having a distance of 2 units, right? Because 4 is the total diameter, so radius will be 2. If the diameter is 4, then radius will be 2. So when you start from 3 and you want to shift to M, you will subtract this radius 2 units. So 3 minus 2. Or you can start from -1, right? You can start from -1 and then add 2 units radius, and then you'll reach to the point M. You'll reach to the y coordinate of M. So for the two values, you'll be, for the two two types, 3 minus 2, you're getting 1, and -1 plus 2, you're getting 1. So the M coordinate m will be having the y coordinate as 1. So 1 here, right? So we got the value of m as 2 comma 1. Now let us calculate the value of n, that is 7 comma. Here you're having the y coordinate changing from 0 to 6, right? So 0 to 6 means 6 minus 0, that is equal to 6. And the radius, this is the diameter, so radius will be that divided by 2, that is equal to 3. So the radius will be 3. So you can start from 0 and then move 3 units up, or you can start from 6 and move 3 units down. So 6 minus 3 or 0 plus 3. That is 3 and that is 3. So the y coordinate of point N will be 3. So we got the values of m and n. Now we can simply use the formula for the slope as slope is y1 minus y2. So you can write x1 y1 x2 y2. So y1 minus y2 means 1 minus 3 divided by x1 minus x2 means 2 minus 7. So that's negative 2 divided by negative 5. That's equal to 2 over 5. 2 over 5, that's option B. And that is the right answer. What is the slope of the line perpendicular to the line through the points 2, 3, negative 1, 0? So we're having already one line, right? So we are having already one line which is having 2, 3, 1 point and negative 1, 0 as another point. So when you'll join it, it'll be like this. And you don't have to calculate the slope of this line. You have to calculate the line which is perpendicular to the slope. So first we'll calculate the slope of this line in which we know the 2 points. Then we will use the negative reciprocal thing for calculating the slope of the line which is perpendicular to this line. So slope will be, you can write x1 y1 x2 y2. So slope will be equal to y1 minus y2, that's 3 minus 0, divided by x1 minus x2, that's 2 minus negative 1. So that's equal to 3 divided by 3, that's equal to 1. So the slope of this line is 1, and the slope of the line which is perpendicular to this line will be negative reciprocal of 1. Negative reciprocal of 1. 1 divided by 1, that's negative 1. So negative 1 is the right answer. That's option A. Now let us move question number 2. If a line to the points this and this 2, negative 3 and 4p is parallel to the line this, what is the value of p? Well, if we know that the slope of this line is negative 2, then we can use that information here, because we know that y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. We can compare it with y equals negative 2x minus 3. So we're getting the m as negative 2 and b as negative 3. So m is negative 2. So we got the slope as m as negative 2, and we know that the two lines which are parallel are having the same slope. So if this is having the slope of negative 2, then the line which passes through the points 2, negative 3 and 4b will also be having the same slope, that's negative 2. So we can use that information. We can calculate, we can use the slope formula. Slope is y1 minus y2, so we can write it as x1 y1 x2 y2. So y1 is negative 3 minus y2 is b divided by x1 is 2 minus x2 is 4, and we know that the slope is negative 2 because parallel lines have the same slope. So we can write it like this. And now what we can do is we can just simplify it. It'll become negative 2 equals negative 3 minus b divided by negative 2. So multiplying by negative 2 to both sides, you will get 4 equals negative 3 minus b. So when you multiply negative 2 to both sides, you'll get negative 2 times negative 2 will be 4 equals negative 3 minus p, and adding 3 to both sides you'll get 7 equals negative p, or p equals negative 7. So the value of p is negative 7, and that is the option E. Now let us see question number 3. What is the slope of the line perpendicular to the line to the point 2, negative 3 and the origin? So that means we can directly calculate the slope of this line. It is x1 y1 and the origin means 0 0, x2 y2. So the slope will be Slope will be y1 minus y2, that's negative 3 minus 0, divided by x1 minus x2, that's 2 minus 0. So that's negative 3 divided by 2. So this is the slope of the line which is passing through the origin and through the point 2, negative 3. And we have to calculate that slope which is perpendicular to this line. So we can do the negative reciprocal. Negative reciprocal of this. That will be negative 3 over 2. We can do 2 over 3. And then multiplying by negative, right? So it'll become positive. So negative 3 over 2, its reciprocal is, its negative reciprocal is 2 over 3. So that's option B. Now, question number 4. In the xy coordinate plane, line N is the reflection of line M. Well, very important. Line N is the reflection of line M. And I told you that reflection is having the slope relationship as negative of each other. If, for example, if one is having a slope of 10, then the reflection will be having a slope of negative 10. If one is having the slope of negative 2 over 3, reflection will be having the slope of positive 2 over 3. You know, just the negative, doing the negative and nothing else. Not doing the reciprocal, just doing the negative. Okay, so about the x-axis. So you're having a reflection about the x-axis. That means if a line N is here, so its reflection is like this, so the slope is 2 over 3. What will be the slope of this line? It will be simply negative 2 over 3. Very simple question, just to know that the reflected lines are having negative slopes of each other. So that is option D. Now let us see question number 5. If the slope of the line through the points 2, 4 and 0 b, so we can mark it as x1, y1, x2, y2. We don't need to just read first everything. And the slope is 1, so we can simply say slope is equal to y1 minus y2 divided by x1 minus x2. So our most of the job is done. 2 minus 0 is 2. So multiplying by 2 to both sides, you will get 2 equals 4 minus b, and then b equals 4 minus 2, so b is equal to 2. We have not read the complete question, but we got the value of b. And then it's saying, and the line through b4 and m6 is parallel to that line. What is the value of m? So we don't have to worry about b because b is 2. So we can have the points as 2, 4 and m6. And we want to calculate the slope of this line which passes through these 2 points. But we know that the slope of this line will be equal to the slope of the previous line because they are parallel. So slope of the previous line is 1. So here also the slope will be 1. Slope will be 1. So we can use the formula x1, y1, x2, y2. So slope is equal to 1 is equal to y1 minus y2, 4 minus 6 divided by x1 minus x2, 2 minus m. Multiplying by 2 minus m to both sides, you will get, or doing the cross multiplication, right? Because 1 is actually 1 divided by 1. So 2 minus m equals 4 minus 6, or 2 minus m equals negative 2. Subtracting 2 to both sides, minus m equals negative 4. Multiplying by negative 1 to both sides, m equals 4. So m equals 4. So this was a little bit more about the slope. Now let us move to the next skill.